In the dimly lit streets of a small, ancient Japanese town, a sense of unease hung heavy in the air. It was a place where tradition met superstition, and the whispers of the past echoed through every cobblestone alley. This is where our story begins, a tale that would send shivers down even the bravest soul. As the clock struck midnight, Hideo, a curious traveler, found himself wandering the eerie alleys of the town. He was an adventurous soul, seeking stories and mysteries to satisfy his insatiable hunger for the unknown. Little did he know that his pursuit of the mysterious would lead him to a meeting with the dreaded Jorogumo, the Spider-Woman of legend. Hideo's footsteps echoed against the ancient stone as he stumbled upon an old, decrepit tea house. The paper lanterns that once lit its path now swayed ominously in the wind, casting eerie shadows upon the walls. He pushed the creaking door open, and a musty, damp odor filled his senses. Seated at the far end of the room was a stunning woman, her beauty almost otherworldly. Her ebony hair cascaded down her back like a waterfall of darkness, and her eyes shone with an unsettling, unearthly glow. Mesmerized by her beauty, Hideo approached her, for he was not immune to the enchantment that the Jorogumo could cast. The Spider-Woman introduced herself as Oyuki and spoke in a voice like a siren's song, her words weaving a web of seduction around Hideo's mind. She invited him to sit, and he accepted, his heart racing with anticipation. As they conversed, Oyuki's tales grew darker and more surreal. She spoke of men who had been lured into her clutches, their lives forever entwined with her insidious web. Hideo began to feel an overwhelming sense of dread, a cold sweat forming on his brow. He realized he was in the presence of the legendary Jorogumo, a creature who disguised herself as a beautiful woman to ensnare her victims. Hideo mustered the courage to excuse himself and stumbled out of the tea house, his heart pounding like a drum. He knew he had to escape the seductive trap that had been set for him. As he ventured into the moonlit streets, he could feel Oyuki's malevolent presence following him. The shadows seemed to stretch and twist, and he could hear her voice, a haunting melody calling his name. Panic gripped him, and he raced through the labyrinthine alleys of the town, desperate to evade her sinister grasp. In his frenzied flight, Hideo stumbled upon an ancient shrine, illuminated by a soft, eerie glow. The Jorogumo was almost upon him when he collapsed before the shrine and prayed with all his might for salvation. At that very moment, a brilliant light enveloped him, and the air was filled with the sound of 1,000 ethereal voices. When the light subsided, Hideo found himself alone in the shrine, saved from the clutches of the Jorogumo. The Spider-Woman's enchantment had been broken by the power of the sacred place, and she was nowhere to be seen. From that day forward, Hideo carried the memory of his harrowing encounter with the Jorogumo as a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked in the most unexpected corners of the world. The town's whispers of the past served as a warning to all who ventured too close to the web of deception woven by the sinister Spider-Woman.